Hello and welcome to another video. In this video I want to talk about first and third person and why we this day and age in the year 2024 can't just simply get both. Alright, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is coming, and it brings along with it the age-old debate. First person or third person? Which is better? Best? Both have their proponents and opponents. Both have their pros and cons. Which is the better of the two? Well, I'll tell you, neither one is better than the other. It purely depends on which of the two a gamer prefers. And herein though lies the real question. Why should one, still to this day, have to choose between the two? I'll tell you this as well. Because the developers force this choice upon us. Why? Because first-person perspective is inherently more immersive than third-person or vice versa? It's BS. Both have their pros and cons. In the end, it purely depends on which of the two a gamer prefers. So, why the F do we have to choose in the first place? This is simply due to the developers forcing this choice upon us. Nothing else. Okay, originally I am a third-person guy. That is, until I discovered Elder Scrolls Oblivion way back in the day. Ever since, I'm hooked on being able to switching between first and third person, because I discovered that this possibility gave me the best gaming experience. Not just first person, not just third person, but the ability to switch between the two modes as I saw fit with the push of a button. Yes, you can implement merely one or the other with the aim of enhancing the gaming experience related to immersiveness. A great example is RoboCop Rogue City. Got to admit that choosing for first person mode enhanced the immersiveness. In this case related to the fact that RoboCop is part man, part machine, having a visor. First-person shooters are most of the time quick and hectic. These aren't uncommon traits to the genre. However, RoboCop was made slow-moving. He's, after all, a human tank. He can be swift, smooth, and nimble. It's pretty effed up, you might think, because they made him first-person. Nope. They also made him, like the tank that he is, much more resistant to many of the weapons that are used against him. Et voila, a way to use a specific mode, in this case first person, to enhance the gaming experience, regarding to make you feel, in this case, more like RoboCop. This way, they even open up the game to fans of RoboCop that are more into or for the third person mode, have less experience with first person. Still, however, it remains a pity that they didn't also implement third person as well, as it would be just as awesome to see RoboCop, immense friggin' cool character as he is, in his hole while steering him. So why not implement both? Technically impossible to do? I think not. Elder Scrolls Oblivion already did it way back in the day. Money? Too much work? Perhaps. But aren't games already expensive enough that they would forsake to offer both for the same price? In case of RoboCop, for instance, the game is made a bit cheaper. In case of RoboCop, the developers had to do more with less. RoboCop, then again, wasn't a AAA game. What's the excuse in the case of Indiana Jones? Indiana Jones is supposed to be a AAA game. It's developed by a studio that's backed by a studio that's backed by Microsoft and has experience regarding making games which offer both modes. We don't want to make an Uncharted clone. Really? Please. Many already stated to be somewhat upset that Indy isn't third person. Okay, they claim that, as is the case with RoboCop, they want to do first person to enhance the immersive experience. Alright, Indy doesn't have a visor like RoboCop, but still first person can boost the immersivity. Now explain to me, if you want to make a AAA Indiana Jones game, if you creatively opt for first person to enhance the immersive experience, while already being limited in catering the game to but one console because it's an Xbox exclusive, won't be seeing it on PS5. And the majority already stated to be somewhat upset that Indy isn't third person, and the money is there through Microsoft and the experience is available through Bethesda. Then why limit yourself to merely one mode while implementing both modes is clearly the most obvious and best way to go? Unless, like with RoboCop, they're gonna compensate this through the price. Question is, of course, are they? Are they gonna compensate this through the price? I, for one, am curious. Either way, the notion that first-person perspective is inherently more immersive than third-person perspective and or vice versa is becoming increasingly suspect as a convenient excuse for developers to minimize the workload. In 2024, it's time to abandon this outdated notion and give gamers the freedom to choose their preferred perspective, as Elder Scrolls Oblivion did so successfully over 2 decades ago. By implementing both first and third person modes, developers can cater to a much wider audience and provide a much more immersive experience for each individual player. Implementing both first and third person modes most certainly isn't an unreasonable demand given current price of games. Anyway, this is my take on the matter. What's your take on this? Perhaps you disagree with me or you just don't care. Either way, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time.
But I think most of the time you'll have more fun and, to be honest, a more genuine indie experience by finding more clever ways to solve a problem.
We always want to be offering more solutions, whether it's trying a different path through the environment to get around enemies, observing enemy patrols and using them to your advantage, or using the tools at your disposal, like the web.
It's an amazing global adventure with action propelling